All right, here we go. So we are doing notes on section, what the heck? 2-3. All right. Okay. And 2-3 is all about organic chemistry, or most importantly, organic molecules. Organism, organic, it all basically means carbon. It's all about the carbon. All right. Here we go. And I don't know what happened to my closed captioning. I don't know what happened.
I still can't see anything.
You can't see anything? Okay, hold on. Oh, I'm not screen sharing. Duh. All right, let's try this. Zoom. Got it. And share screen. Thank you for reminding me that I need to share the screen. All right, and we're going to the 2-3 notes. And I'm going to share. Better? We good?
Yeah.
We good. All right, here we go. Slide down here and bam. Okay. Section 2-3 is about organic chemistry, organic compounds, and organic basically means carbon. Okay. All right. So remember, to get full credit on your class notes, you must do them numbered. Okay. Starting with number 22. We will end with number 29. And you must do them in Cornell note style, which means questions on the left and answers on the right. Obviously, the question in this is organic, so we're going to just do org from here on out. You can write organic if you want, but you can abbreviate if you would like. And instead of writing molecules, we're going to write moles. And instead of writing, oh man, you guys probably missed them all. I hate them all, honestly, myself. You know, I'm in and out. What do I need to get? Let's get out of here, because I don't like all the fattening food that they sell, and I don't like the smell of Cinnabon in the entire store, and it sticks to you when you walk out. This makes you want to eat a Cinnabon. Anyway, compounds is what we are going to abbreviate for, or CMPDS. All right, you guys can write it all out yourself, or you can abbreviate like me. All right, here we go. So carbon atoms have 4 valence electrons. Remember, valence means available, which means that those electrons are available to make bonds. And that is one of the reasons why carbon is such a great backbone. There are a billion, probably more than a billion different compounds and molecules that carbon can make, because it can make 4 bonds. It can make a triple bond and a single. It can make 2 double bonds. It can make a double and 2 singles. It can make 4 singles. There are a variety of compounds that carbon can make. All right. Okay. Organic molecules in living organisms are made of carbon and other elements, but carbon is the building block. It is the backbone. And remember, when I am about to hop ahead to the next slide, I will do this, and that's not really all that important for you. But for those students that miss class or need to go watch the video to finish up their notes later, and then want to turn me down because I'm annoying to listen to, or they want to listen to music or whatever, that will tell you we're about to jump ahead to the next slide, so you don't actually have to hear me say it. In about 15 seconds, I'm about to jump ahead to the next slide. All right, and here we go. Okay, macromolecules. So macromolecule is just a big molecule and their formation. So this is the question, goes on the left. I'm so glad I'm doing the video now, because that means I don't have to do it during lunch or after school, and I can do other stuff that I need to get done. All right, so there are large molecules made by the process of polymerization. A polymer, poly means many, is made of many monomers. A mono, one, poly, many. A monomer bonds to another monomer and another monomer and another monomer, and it makes a polymer. Okay, so macromolecules are polymers. and building blocks like amino acids for proteins or saccharides for carbohydrates, or the fatty acids and glycerol molecules for lipids are the monomers. Monomers, there you go. Smaller unit, they're joined together to form polymers. All right, number 24. Different types of organic molecules. You know them, you love them. Carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, and lipids. And of course, the reason why he in the video said you are probably trying to avoid carbohydrates is because if you eat too many of those and your body can't burn off all that energy, like it said, it gets stored as glycerol. If it sits and it sits and it sits, that glycerol gets converted to fat. You guessed it. Obviously, if you eat too many lipids as well, oils, butter, things like that, they will also be stored on your body just in case you need it later, right? Right. Okay. By the way, I always shorten carbohydrates to carbs, C-A-R-B-S. You're welcome to do the same. I'm getting ready to jump ahead to the next slide. I will be asking for a couple volunteers to raise their hand. Period 6, by the way, when they watch this video, they're going to be really jealous because they didn't get to raise, their hand and get their hand raised on video. How cool is that? You guys are going to be famous. No, you're not. Well, not because of maybe you'll be famous. I hope you're famous. I hope you're a famous scientist. That'd be super cool. All right, here we go. Living things or organisms are made of compounds and molecules with what atoms? What is the primary atom of organic compounds? Hand up if you want to answer. Let's see. Go, Alex.
What? But
Never mind, Alex. Go, Mateo.
Carbon.
You got it. Hydrogen, they're bonded to the carbon, but the backbones are made out of carbon. All right, good. Here we go. Moving on. Macromolecules are formed by what process? What's the name of that process? What's that word you've probably never heard before unless you've already started your reading notes? Take a look at number 23 if you're not too sure. Let's see. Go ahead, Owen.
It's the polymerization.
Nice. Break it down into its syllabic pieces. Syllabic. That is such a cool word, syllabic. Syllables. Yeah. Polymerization. Yes, polymerization. 6 syllables in that stinking word. Okay. All right, Alex, you can put your hand down now. All right, next one. All right, let's see. What are the 4 types of organic molecules found in organisms? Somebody different. All right, go, Lucas.
Carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, and lipids.
Bam. By the way, you guys, nucleic acids, those are the NAs. Who'd like to raise their hand and tell me what the 2 NAs are? Anybody? Owen, go ahead.
DNA and RNA.
All right. Are you familiar with the story of the 3 sisters?
No.
Okay, you haven't heard the story about Myrna, Turner, and Erna?
No.
The 3 RNA sisters? Okay. Well, we'll get to that at the end of the semester. They're 3 sisters, and there's always one that's lazy. There's always one that does everything, and there's one that does something every time she's guilted into doing it. We'll learn about the sisters later. Okay, here we go. Okay, carbohydrates. You can abbreviate it as carbs if you would like. They're compounds made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Usually they are in a ratio of 1 to 2 to 1. So the 1 would be the carbon, the 2 would be the hydrogen, and the 1 would be the oxygen. Perfect example, glucose, C6H12O6. C6, 1, O6, 1, H12, 2. Okay? Used in living things as their main source of energy. Carbohydrates are quick energy. Let's see. Hand up if you're a swimmer. Any swimmers out there or water polo players out there? All right. I don't know if you guys do it anymore because we got all those power bars and stuff that you can buy. But swimmers back in the day, they would do what's called loading up on carbs. They'd eat like a plate of pasta before they have a big event that they would do. Now, like I said, of course, we have tons of things that have carbohydrates in them that you can, pack in your backpack. You don't have to bring pasta, but that is an easy way to get some quick energy. Okay. All right. Okay. Examples are starches and sugars. Monosaccharide is a single sugar molecule. For example, glucose or fructose, I believe, bonds to it's either sucrose bonds with glucose or fructose bonds with glucose to form fructose or sucrose. I forget which one's the disaccharide. On Friday, I will be showing you with a model how that bonding takes place. Poly, again, is the Latin root for many. Polysaccharide, these are large macromolecules formed from a bunch of monosaccharides. Okay, I'm going to hop to the next slide in about 15 seconds. So remember, you got two options. If I'm going too fast, you can skip a couple lines, okay, and highlight number 25 so you know that you need to come back to number 25. Or you can take a picture with your cell phone, and then you can finish these up, and you don't even need the stinking video. I mean, why would you want to watch the exact video twice? Because really, you're watching the video because I'm making the video. All right, here we go. Moving to the next slide. Lipids. They are not soluble in water, and that's because, as you learned in the video, the most lipid molecules are not polar. Remember, polar attracts polar. They're mostly carbon and hydrogen atoms. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you draw the whole lipid molecule because boy, oh boy, those fatty acids, they are super, super long. It's just like a whole ton of carbons and a whole ton of hydrogens and a couple oxygens mixed in there. I am, though, going to make you draw the other ones. So mostly carbon and hydrogen. Common categories are fats, oils, waxes, and steroids, Barry Bonds. Okay, some are important in biological membranes. I don't really like how he said biological membrane cell wall or membrane walls or membrane cell wall, because cell walls are only found in plants. The phospholipid bilayer and biological membranes are found in animal cells. So as long as you know that the plasma membrane, animal cell, cell wall, plant cell, you're good. Okay. And we'll get into that when we talk about mitosis and meiosis. Beginning of next semester, hopefully I'll be looking at your smiling faces. Well, you won't be smiling if you're taking notes necessarily, but hopefully I'm looking at your smiling faces. And yeah, okay, so I'm going to stop talking for a second so you can see what's on the bottom of the screen. I was worried about this. So remember, saturated or unsaturated. We usually think of like saturated with liquids, sopping wet, like saturated with water. But it's talking about the saturation of hydrogen atoms. So saturated means that there are a lot of hydrogen atoms, and there's referring to bonding, talking about a single bond between the carbons, and unsaturated is a double bond. Polyunsaturated is, what does that say? I've got it right here. Never mind. They contain more than one double bond between the carbons. That's what it says. Contains more than one double bond. And of course, we're talking about always the carbons. Okay, getting ready to hop ahead in about 15 seconds. So now not only do I need to modify my PowerPoints to make sure that I have this space open so it doesn't block words, but I have to leave this space open so it doesn't block words. My goodness, this is getting complicated. Okay, hand up if you want to answer. Give me 2 characteristics of carbohydrates. You could even include examples of carbohydrates as a characteristic. And if you can't remember, go back and take a look at number 25. Hand up if you want to play. Well, let's get different hands. Let's get some new people. Again, number 26. I'm just going to pick some people. Allah, go ahead.
They're made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and they're used by living things as their main source of energy.
Good. Let's see. Isaac, can you tell me what ratio these atoms are found in? Isaac? Montes? Hernandez? You there? Number 26. 25. Not 26. 25. All right. Maybe he's not there. Let's see. Lauren, you want to take this one? What's the ratio, Lauren?
1 to 2 to 1.
You got it. And we're talking carbon, hydrogen to oxygen. Okay, let's see. Who'd like to give me 2 examples of carbohydrates? See, Silver May or My?
Starches and sugars.
Is it May or My, Ella?
May.
Silver May. All right, thanks, guys. All right, moving on to the next one. Thanks for participating. 2 characteristics of lipids, and of course, you are taking a look at number 27. 26 for this one. Let's see. You guys already raised your hand. I'm going to pick somebody different. Dylan, could you give me a characteristic of a lipid?
Yeah, it's fatty.
Fantastic. All right, let's see. Somebody else. Lainey, could you give me another characteristic of lipids? You there, Lainey?
They're not soluble in water.
You got it, which means they don't dissolve in water. Let's see. Who can give me some categories of lipids? Let's see. I'm gonna pick. Melody, can you give me some categories of lipids? You don't have to do them all, just a couple. Number 26, third bullet.
Common categories are fats, oils, waxes, and steroids.
Berry bonds. Okay, moving on. Okay, there are lots of people who got busted for steroids. I just pick on Barry Bonds because I don't like the Giants. Okay, let's see. Match them up. Unsaturated, you're taking a look at number 27 for this. Let's see. Hand up if you want to do A for unsaturated. Anybody? Allah, you want to do your hand's still up. I don't know if you want it up this time, but which one is unsaturated? All right, go, Owen.
Unsaturated is the one that's a fatty acid joined by a double bond.
You got it. So that's going to be B. Who would like to do saturated? So number 2. Don't choose B. Grace, go.
I said C. It's joined by single carbon bond.
You got it. And then, of course, polyunsaturated by process of elimination is fatty acids joined by more than one double bond. My bad. So the first one was A, second one is C, the third one is B. All right, time to move on. Okay, let's finish these up. The nucleic acids, holy moly. So look at all those different elements that are involved. We got hydrogen, we got oxygen, and we got carbon. Those are familiar. But we also have nitrogen, and we also have phosphorus. Notice in the video, he did not talk about nucleic acids because they are so stinking important that there's a whole different video on RNA and DNA. And the easiest way for me to remember all the atoms that are involved in nucleic acids is I can make a word out of it. So like another word for like bite very vigorously is chomp, C-H-O-M-P. This one's chomp, C-H-O-N-P. So if you remember chomp and you're like, well, what the heck is M for? Oh, no, it's not M, it's N. You're good. All right. Okay, these are polymers made of nucleotide monomers. So the monomers of nucleic acid are nucleotides. Nucleotides themselves have a 5-carbon sugar, a phosphate group, and a nitrogen base. And of course, they're really, really important because they store and transmit hereditary information. So the reason why you look like a combination of your biological parents is because you have DNA from your mom and you have DNA from your dad. And when we get to genetics next semester, we'll talk about genes, which are basically just segments of DNA. And there are dominant genes and there are recessive genes. And depending on the combination of genes and which one you get from each parent will determine which gene you get. So that's really complicated stuff. We'll get to that. End of the semester, we'll talk about DNA and RNA, but next semester, we'll talk about genetics. All right. There are two kinds. If you know RNA stands for ribonucleic acid, you don't need to write it down again. You can just write RNA. You do need to know, though, that the sugar in RNA is ribose and that the sugar in DNA is deoxyribose. And it's ribonucleic acid, Na, deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay on time. Okay, I'm about to hop ahead to the next video in about 15 seconds. So either skip a couple lines, watch the video later, or take a quick picture so you can finish them up sooner than that. All right, and proteins. Okay, these are macromolecules. So again, large molecules containing C, H, O, and N. So you can either remember it by going notch, N-O-C-H, or chon, C-H-O-N. So proteins do not have phosphorus. Nucleic acids do. Polymers of amino acid monomers. So amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. Nucleotides are the building blocks of nucleic acids. Saccharides are the building blocks of carbohydrates. And fatty acids and glycerol are the building blocks of lipids. Those are all monomers. There are a lot of things that proteins do, but I gave you just a couple of them here. Some control the rates of reactions. So next week, we will be doing an enzyme activity lab, or I will be demonstrating an enzyme activity lab where we will be speeding up reactions with a catalyst or an enzyme. And section 2-4 is all about reactions and enzymes and the enzyme substrate complex and reactants and substrates and products and all that stuff. Some form bones and muscles. So if you lift weights or you exercise a lot, you need a lot of protein. I had it was an interesting 2 years. I was a vegetarian for 2 years. I quit in May. I started May minus 2 years ago. And I exercise a lot. So it was kind of difficult for me to find good sources of protein. I drank milk, but I also don't eat any cow stuff. So I had to find a different type of milk and ate a lot of tofu. And lots of beans. And then some help fight diseases, so proteins are involved with white blood cells as well. All right, getting ready to hop to the next slide. Almost finished here. Okay, hand up. 2 characteristics of nucleic acids. If you would like to do this one, please put your hand up. And of course, if you're interested in looking at nucleic acids, you're going to want to take a look at number 28. All right, I'm not seeing any hands yet, so let's see. Nick Fursov, you want to give me a characteristic of a nucleic acid, please?
It generally occurs with several other types of acids.
No? You want to take a look at number 28? And try again, please? Okay, maybe Nick doesn't have number 28. Igor, you want to give it a shot? Igor? All right, August, give me a characteristic of nucleic acids. This is painful.
They store and transmit hereditary and genetic information.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Somebody else that I haven't called. Avery, could you give me a characteristic of nucleic acids, please?
Well, there's RNA and DNA.
You got it. Cool. All right, and who can tell me what elements are involved in nucleic acids? Let's see. Pick somebody different. Isaac, you there? Montes?
Yeah.
You want to tell me what elements are involved in nucleic acids?
I'm not sure.
Number 28, first bullet. Remember. Okay, who'd like to bail him out and save him? Go, Ava.
They have hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and phosphorus.
You got it. Yeah, and easy way to remember is chomp, and you change the M to a P. Chomp. Okay, that was really painful. All right, moving on. All right, let's see. List, or what is the main difference between RNA and DNA? And of course, that is the third bullet. RNA has something, DNA has something different. Let's see. Diego, you want to try that one? Are you there, Diego? I'm not sure Diego's there. Who can tell me what is the main difference between RNA and DNA? Third bullet, number 28. Hand up, please. Even somebody that's already put their hand up. This is taking way too long. Nico, give it a shot. Third bullet, number 28. Try to make it easy. Go.
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. So doesn't DNA have pretty sure it has more of something, but I forgot what.
And it's not more. It's not more. It's got something, and RNA has something different. It's the third bullet for number 28. If you didn't write down the third bullet for number 28, speak now.
Yeah, I didn't get from the second to the last part of the 28.
Okay. Silver May, bail him out.
I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but DNA has deoxyribonuclei, and RNA has.
No, those are the names. Those are the names. Those are the acids. One has one type of sugar, one has another type of sugar.
Deoxyribose and ribose?
You got it. So the main difference between those two is the sugar. Deoxyribose and ribose. Oh, this is tough. Proteins. 2 characteristics of proteins. Let's see. Aaron, you want to take that one? Take number 29. Just tell me one thing you learned about proteins. Aaron, you there? Painful. Grace, go.
It contains nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
You got it. Okay. They're made of amino acids as their monomers. And of course, there are lots of things that they do for the body. We're moving on. Okay. Let's see. Large carbohydrate molecules such as starch are known as large carbohydrate molecules. Who would like to unmute themselves and tell me what the correct answer is there? A, B, C, or D? Large molecules. Anyone? Bueller? Large, many, monomers. Many. Anybody? All right, let's try. Zara, you want to give it a shot? Are you there, Zara? Okay, fine. Many polysaccharides. All right, I'm not going to wait for you guys. This is just ridiculous. A major difference between polysaccharides and proteins is... Unmute yourself if you know what the answer is. All right, nobody. Okay, here we go. Polysaccharides are made of monosaccharides, while proteins are made, I can't see what that says, are made of amino acids. So it's the monomers that make them up. Okay, that is it for the notes. Let me go back here. And let's stop the